Informal Science Education for Latinos, a different kind of conference to help us make a difference. 120 participants from government, media, museums, the nonprofit sector, and academia gathered to lay the groundwork for development of strategic partnerships for the expansion of the participation of Latino audiences in informal science learning. Organized by Self-Reliance Foundation and funded by the National Science Foundation.
According to the National Science Board's Science and Engineering Indicators Report, less than 2% of the scientific STEM workforce is Hispanic. However, a full 20% of the country's youth population will be Hispanic by 2020. This problem needs to be addressed now more than ever. If we don't do something now, I'm afraid that millions of Hispanic children won't be able to meaningfully participate in the future economic growth of this country. This conference of expanding informal science education for Latinos really serves to address this issue by giving you the opportunity to share ideas and design solutions to increase Latino enrollment in STEM careers. At the end of the day, together, we all can shape the future of informal science learning for Latinos in the United States.
That project has just been fabulous. Our MESA students at the high school level are trained as interns to learn about the exhibits that the Pacific Science Center designed for us. And then they also learn the Pacific Science Center shows, and then we bring the science to fiestas and celebrations that are in our Yakima Valley where our Hispanic families attend.
I think it's excellent. I'm really impressed with the level of planning and preparation and organization. I love the briefing papers that were sent out. I read them on the plane. They were so interesting. And the speakers and briefcases and everything is just really high quality, and I think it's going to be very valuable.
Aspiro que se enriquezcan las conexiones que tenemos desde hace tiempo con múltiples organizaciones locales, tanto de Estados Unidos como en general toda América.
During the conference, participants learn about best practices in designing culturally effective programs and resources, develop new strategies to enrich the informal science learning environments for Latinos.
Well, what I liked from the conference actually was that, first of all, I didn't know all these organizations existed. I think for me to see so many people just helping Latin Americans, I think it's great. It's awesome.
I think it's fabulous. It's wonderful to meet all these new people that are as motivated as I am to bring science to Latino communities. Well, I'm part of the Celebra la Ciencia Coalition, so I was invited through them, but it's always great to learn more about what's going on out there in the science community, figure out what we can do with our program to help improve it. So that's why I'm here.
Well, they're terrific people here with lots of expertise, many good ideas are being shared, and personally getting to know a lot of people and learning a lot. So it's been a very productive first day for me.
The purpose of this conference is how can we identify the needs that the Latino community has for access to science and health information? How can we work together with our current resources to leverage and get more out of what we are currently doing? And what are some new things that we can do? What are some ways of expanding upon what we're doing now? In many communities, these museums and other resources exist on the one hand, and on the other hand, there's growing Latino communities, and there's not that link. And so one point of this conference is to help make that link, and that's really what Self-Reliance is all about. Linking communities with the resources that are in those communities. And it goes both ways. Latino communities may not be familiar with the science-rich resources that exist, right around the corner. And likewise, the museums and the youth organizations may not be acquainted with the Latino community. Informal science has a vital role to play in
getting families and kids engaged in science so that some of those kids will pursue careers in science and technology. And, science is really for everyone. If you think about science and how it, we all know how it affects our lives, our health, our environment, the economy. Everybody should be interested in science and should, have access to science information.